I've worked for the council coming up 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in October coming up. A large part of my role is looking after trees on public land. It's a good responsibility to have. It's a responsibility that I'm comfortable to have because I do feel that trees are they're hugely important, even more so with the state of the planet. Of course, people don't understand fully, the importance of trees, which, they are, after all, our lungs. They produce the oxygen that we breathe, and you can hear in the background the wildlife that's thriving amongst them. So, they're a very important component, either in the urban areas or the rural or otherwise, where we live and where we thrive as a population. Simply because if the tree preservation is there and it's a tree that affords significant amenity value, visual amenity, then it is worth retaining in that environment and in that land. A tree that's historically relevant is a veteran tree in Carlton at the end of Wyvern Way. It's a real old ash tree with considerable girth stem, and I felt it necessary to put a tree preservation order on that tree. And it wasn't just myself. I've had members of the public also asking about this tree or concerned about, what would happen if this tree was damaged, or, so I felt it was prudent to do so because it is a really good tree. I mean, if you like your trees, it's definitely worth having a look at. You can see it's quite a nice open space with a number of mature sycamores and ash trees. And there's some lovely hazel and hawthorn as a backdrop there. But you can see that there are 3 trees beyond that, 3 mature trees, a mature ash and 2 maple trees, which have recently had tree works done to reduce the crowns of the trees. But interestingly, the reason I'm focusing on these particular trees is that there's actually been criminal damage, and unfortunately someone has taken it upon themselves to ring bark these trees, which is a horrendous thing to do because the ring barking of the trees will mean that the trees will eventually die. It's a sad thing to have to deal with. Currently we're investigating this matter. These trees are here for the public and for the public's enjoyment, and they have many benefits, and unfortunately when these trees die, they've taken many decades to get to these sizes. We'll just have to take them out. We're here today in one of our parks, Vicarage Park, and I'm having a look at the impact that the recent drought conditions have had on our newly planted trees. And here's an example here where we've had to help this oak tree, which was planted earlier on this year. Unfortunately, we had to prune the top of the tree out because, there was dieback in the top of the tree as a result of the drought conditions. It does actually look that from when we've done this and from when we've tried to take more care of it during that period of time, that it is looking a bit more vigorous. So hopefully that will continue, and the trees will then perhaps look a little more like the other young trees from previous years, which you can see are thriving, because these trees obviously have had a couple of years of good conditions, good weather, and as a result you can see that they're in better condition. So we want to give our young trees the best chance possible, because when people come into a park, they see all the green infrastructure, but we've got to think about the future, and we've got to think about sustaining this green infrastructure, and obviously ensuring that we've got a nice pleasant environment for people to enjoy.